The Los Angeles Lakers are using this NBA offseason to add pieces around their two superstars, LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Caught in the middle of constant trade rumors over the past few weeks is Lakers guard Austin Reaves. At his basketball summer camp, Reaves spoke on the Lakers offseason. While he said that he doesn't listen to rumors and reports surrounding his name, the 27-year-old reiterated that he hoped to be with the Lakers his entire career. "I want to be in LA," Reaves said in an interview on Saturday at his Reaves brothers basketball camp. "If they want to trade me, then we'll start something new somewhere else. But like I said, I want to be in LA. I want to play my whole career in LA. I love it there. I love the fans. Love the weather, love the golf. And obviously the Lakers is the best organization in basketball. I don't pay attention to the noise. I keep my head down, work, and I feel like that's one of the reasons I'm where I'm at." On a team with James and Doncic, Reaves would likely be traded if the Lakers make a big offseason move. He averaged a career-high 20.2 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5.8 assists on 46% shooting in 73 regular season games this season. Reaves' career so far. Reaves spent the first 2 seasons of his college career at Wichita State, followed by 2 seasons at the University of Oklahoma. In his senior year with the Sooners, the shooting guard averaged 18.3 points and helped the team win an NCAA tournament game against Missouri. Reaves joined the Lakers after going undrafted in 2021. Since becoming James' teammate in Los Angeles, Reaves has been one of the most consistent players in the NBA. Though averaging just 7.3 points a game his rookie year, Reaves started in 19 games for a Lakers team that won the title just 2 years prior. Since then, his averages in each major statistical category have only increased. While his points and assists have nearly tripled since entering the league, Reaves has also slowly become a stronger rebounder and overall defender. He became a full-time starter this season for the Lakers, as even with the addition of Doncic, he remained a key piece in their 50-win season. During his camp, he spoke on the team adding the Slovenian and how he has impacted their future as an organization. "I think the sky's the limit for us. We're moving in the right direction," Reaves said. Obviously, adding Luka Doncic, it gives you a Hall of Fame player such a young age that you can build around, and then obviously still having LeBron James, the IQ, and still running around at 40 years old. Reaves as a trade asset. Reaves' name has been in trade rumors since the Lakers were knocked out of the first round of the NBA playoffs by the Minnesota Timberwolves. As an asset, he holds a lot of value, especially considering his scoring ability and team-friendly contract. Reaves signed a 4-year, $53 million deal with the Lakers in the summer of 2023. If he had signed an extension later in the season or during last summer, it likely would have been for a bigger number. But earning an average of $14.5 million over the next 2 seasons, his mid-level contract holds a lot of value on the trade market. Los Angeles attempted to trade for Charlotte Hornets center Mark Williams at the deadline but was unsuccessful due to a failed physical. They will likely go after another big man in the offseason, with Reaves as the likely return piece for whoever they go after. Regardless, it has been reported that Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka has no plans of trading their shooting guard, according to LA Times Lakers writer Dan Woik. Pelinka reportedly believes that James, Doncic, and Reaves are all pillars of the organization, with no immediate plans of letting any of them go. The Milwaukee Bucks have been NBA title contenders on at least some level for the past 7 seasons, dating to their 60-win season in 2018-19. This qualifies as an outsized window in the modern era, where repeater taxes and aprons have been installed to make this sort of run a real challenge. But most importantly, the Bucks won a championship in 2021 and validated everything and everyone. Having said that, they have lost steam. They've exited in the first round of the playoffs in 3 consecutive years and haven't made it past the second round since the title run. They have traded their first-round pick or its swap rights for the next 6 years and traded their second-round selection for the next 6 years, hampering their ability to restock the roster. Over the past 4 years, they have paid about $940 million in salaries and luxury taxes and won 1 playoff series. In April, their chances were submarined by Damian Lillard's devastating torn left Achilles. The Bucks will pay him $54 million next season, uncertain how much he will be able to contribute. There is a lot in those 3 paragraphs. They don't cry out for maintaining the status quo. The Bucks franchise player, Giannis Antetokounmpo, is fully aware of the situation but has not taken any action. The Bucks feel as if they have come to a crossroads, continue to build around Antetokounmpo despite their challenges, or look for a new way forward. Here's a look at both paths. Brian Windhorst. What can the Bucks do this summer? Nearly 8 years ago, then Cleveland Cavaliers GM David Griffin made a statement regarding LeBron James that resonates with the Bucks and Antetokounmpo. You're basically charged with the legacy of Babe Ruth, and it's our responsibility to allow that legacy to grow and evolve, Griffin told The Vertical. So it's almost like a sacred trust that the kid gives you. He's so good in his own right by himself that he sort of mandates you have to be a title contender just by his presence alone, and if you don't capitalize on the years he has left, then shame on us. The same philosophy applies to Bucks GM John Horst this offseason. It would be easy for the Bucks to put Antetokounmpo on the trade market, especially in light of Lillard's Achilles injury and consecutive losses in the first round. However, sources confirmed to ESPN that Milwaukee will be aggressively exploring options in free agency and trades to complement Antetokounmpo. Due to the Chris Middleton-Kyle Kuzma swap before the February trade deadline, the Bucks can use the $14.1 million non-tax mid-level exception to sign free agent Gary Trent Jr. or a temporary guard replacement for Lillard. They also have the $5.1 million biannual exception available. It is unlikely that Milwaukee can retain free agent Brook Lopez, Bobby Portis, and also use both exceptions. The Kuzma deal has also given the Bucks flexibility to use more than 100% of the traded player exception, taking back more salary and aggregate contracts in a trade. Pulling off a trade that impacts the roster presents a problem because 79% of the Bucks' payroll is owed to Antetokounmpo, Lillard, and Kuzma. The lone sizable contract is Pat Connaughton's $9.4 million expiring salary. Because of a rule in the CBA, Milwaukee is not allowed to attach the contracts of A.J. Green, Chris Livingston, Andre Jackson Jr., and Tyler Smith to Connaughton and bring back a player earning $25 million. To offset that rule, Milwaukee could add Lopez or Portis if his player option is declined in a sign-and trade. Bobby Marks. Milwaukee Bucks get Wendell Carter Jr., Ayo Dosunmu, Jet Howard. Orlando Magic get Pat Connaughton, Jalen Smith, Jevon Carter. 2031 first-round pick. 2032 first-round pick swap with Milwaukee. Chicago Bulls get Kyle Kuzma, Andre Jackson Jr. 2031 second-round pick. More than any team in the league, the Bucks should be ready to get involved if some of these clubs begin trimming salary and parting ways with talented players. One that would be a perfect fit, particularly if the Bucks don't bring back Lopez. Kristaps Porzingis from Boston. It's difficult to imagine the teams working out a deal, but keep in mind that Drew Holiday found his way to Boston after Milwaukee dealt him to the Portland Trail Blazers initially. With regards to the proposed deal above, this would obviously be quite a gamble to get out from under the Kuzma deal, given that it would essentially empty Milwaukee's draft cupboard. But it also answers some immediate questions for the Bucks in terms of who holds down Lillard's spot while he rehabs and who replaces the aging, free agent Lopez in the middle. Milwaukee's defense improves, perhaps considerably, with these moves, making the club younger and giving it more upside. Chicago, likely to handball handler Josh Giddey a big deal this summer, might be fine getting a return for Dosunmu as his deal gets closer to winding down. And Orlando parts ways with Carter, handing the reins to Goga Bitadze, but gets back some draft capital after paying handsomely, to the tune of 4 first-rounders and a swap, to acquire Desmond Bane from Memphis earlier this week.
Chris Herring.
Milwaukee Bucks get Cameron Johnson. Brooklyn Nets get Kyle Kuzma. 2031 first-round pick. 2032 first-round pick swap. Given the Bucks' extremely limited resources, who is the best current player they could conceivably add to support Giannis in a win-now posture? Johnson has never been an all-star, but he has made immense strides in Brooklyn. Always a tremendous shooter, 39% career on three-pointers, he has become an accomplished multi-level scorer who could try to fill the Middleton-shaped hole on Milwaukee's perimeter. Would the Nets do this deal? It's a fairly light return for trading Johnson, an attractive trade target around the league, while taking back Kuzma's contract. But the Bucks' unprotected 2031 and 2032 picks might be so enticing that Brooklyn would go for it. Antetokounmpo would be pushing 37 years old at that point, and perhaps gone from Milwaukee entirely. The Nets could also value holding some of Milwaukee's draft capital for a future scenario in which they try to trade for Antetokounmpo and would be able to offer the Bucks their picks back. Zach Cram. Milwaukee Bucks gets Bradley Beal, Royce O'Neal, 2025 first-round pick, number 29. Phoenix Suns get Pat Connaughton, Damian Lillard. On paper, there is logic to a swap of Beal for Lillard. The Bucks were linked to Beal during the season, when it would have meant building a package around the now-departed Middleton and getting nothing out of Lillard's $54 million salary while he recovers from Achilles surgery might not be tenable. Beal, who would need to waive his no-trade clause to make the deal work, could fit better in Milwaukee than he has with the Suns, getting more opportunities to handle the ball and spacing the floor for Antetokounmpo in a way Lillard wasn't as comfortable doing. The Bucks also win the undercard here, adding wing depth with O'Neal in a swap that's necessary to avoid hard-capping Phoenix at the lower luxury tax apron and getting a late first-rounder to use upgrading the rest of the roster. If the Suns are ready to move on from Beal, waiting for Lillard's return might not seem so bad. And if he is able to return at something close to his all-star form at age 35, Lillard would be a better fit alongside Devin Booker in the Phoenix backcourt. However, it's unlikely the two sides will agree on how much more valuable Lillard is while injured than Beal. Kevin Pelton. Houston Rockets get Giannis Antetokounmpo, Pat Connaughton. Milwaukee Bucks get Alperen Sengun, Cam Whitmore, Reed Shepherd, Jock Landale. 2025 first-round pick, number 10. 2027 first-round pick via Phoenix. 2028 first-round pick. More than any other club that held home court advantage to begin the playoffs, number 2 seeded Houston desperately needs more offense. Between their bottom 5 three-point attempt rate and Jalen Green's inconsistency as a scorer, he exploded for 38 points in Game 2 against the Warriors, but scored 12 points or fewer in the other 6 contests during that first-round matchup. The Rockets need to manufacture easier scores. Yes, Sengun is an all-star who can be the hub of a decent offense, and he has a higher ceiling as he continues to improve. But Antetokounmpo, a 2-time league MVP in his prime, is elite enough to be the number 1 option for any club's offensive attack. This might fall right within a sweet spot, depending on where your fandom lies. If you're a Rockets fan, you likely hate the thought of parting with Sengun. But the need for a big as the offensive hub, even one with the playmaking chops of Sengun, lessens considerably if Giannis joins the roster. Beyond that, if you had to choose one young star to include between Sengun and two-way standout Amen Thompson, Sengun might be the preferred choice, if only because of their contracts. With his extension beginning this coming season, Sengun is due to earn almost $34 million in 2025 to 26, while Thompson will get a little less than $10 million. That would give the Rockets more flexibility in remaking the roster, one with Thompson, Fred VanVleet, Green, Dillon Brooks, Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, and others around Giannis over the next couple years. Herring. Toronto Raptors get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Milwaukee Bucks get Scotty Barnes, Grady Dick, Ochai Agbaji. 2025 first-round pick, number 9. 2029 first-round pick. 2031 first-round pick. Antetokounmpo and Raptors president Masai Ujiri go way back, and Ujiri has never been shy about taking big swings for stars. Toronto's recent moves, including trading for and extending Brandon Ingram, suggest Ujiri wants to leap back into contention sooner rather than later, and in a depleted Eastern Conference field, adding Giannis could make that happen. Given his youth and upside, Toronto's Barnes could be the most attractive current player available to the Bucks in a trade. That's important because the Bucks owe so many future picks to other teams that they have no incentive to tank. In 2023, the Suns traded Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder for first-round picks and one swap to Brooklyn for Kevin Durant. That's the model from which we're building this trade. One rising star, Barnes, one young shooter with potential, Dick, a third wing and a similar, but lesser because Barnes is more accomplished than Bridges, assortment of picks that sent Durant to Phoenix. With this deal, the Raptors would improve by slotting Antetokounmpo into Barnes' spot in their rotation, while the Bucks would be able to start building a young core of Barnes, Dick, and the number 9 pick in this year's draft. The other picks headed to Milwaukee would be concentrated toward the end of the maximum 7-year trading window, so Milwaukee wouldn't have to rely on picks from a team led by Giannis in his prime, which would be more likely to come at the end of the first round.
Cram.
San Antonio Spurs get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Milwaukee Bucks get Harrison Barnes, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sochan. 2025 first-round pick, number 2. 2026 first-round pick, better of Atlanta and San Antonio. 2028 first-round pick, better of Boston and San Antonio. 2030 first-round pick, better of Dallas, Minnesota, and San Antonio. 2031 first-round swap, Milwaukee's for better of Sacramento's and San Antonio. Before missing the final third of last season because of deep vein thrombosis, Victor Wembanyama had established himself as a top 10 player at age 21. Pairing him with an All-NBA first-team pick in his prime would give San Antonio a core good enough to contend now, and the fit between Wembanyama, who prefers to play on the perimeter, and Antetokounmpo's power game is ideal. I consider this as the NBA version of an NFL team loading up around a star quarterback on a rookie deal, taking advantage of his cheap salary to add premier talent. Even after dealing for De'Aaron Fox, the Spurs are well-positioned to build an Antetokounmpo offer around picks based on the combination of moving up to number 2 in the lottery and future swaps. Instead of relying on San Antonio picks likely to come at the end of the round, the Bucks would be able to bet on a variety of teams bottoming out. In particular, the 2030 first-rounder looks especially valuable because it's the best of 3 teams, albeit with top 1 protection on the swap with the Timberwolves. Milwaukee also gets a recent lottery pick in Sachin and players who could keep the team competitive.
Pelton.
Detroit Pistons get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Milwaukee Bucks get Tobias Harris, Jaden Ivey, Isaiah Stewart. 2027 first-round pick, 2029 first-round pick, 2031 first-round pick. With the Cavaliers and Celtics up against the restrictive second apron and likely needing to cut salary, and Boston without the rehabbing Jason Tatum, and the Knicks undergoing changes of their own, the contending class of the East is as open as it's been in a while. The Pistons, making their first playoff appearance in 6 years, looked evenly matched with New York in a highly competitive first round. Adding a player of Antetokounmpo's ilk would speed up the timeline but also give All-NBA guard Cade Cunningham and the Pistons a real shot in the East sooner rather than later. Milwaukee might hesitate in making a deal within its division and might ultimately want to swing bigger than this. But Ivey, still just 23 and coming off a season that was far more efficient than his first 2, has shown real, palpable flashes. Stewart is 24 and is a rugged rebounder capable of bigger minutes than what he currently receives alongside fellow youngster Jalen Duren. And the veteran Harris, still just 32, was solid for the Pistons, particularly on defense, throughout Detroit's playoff run. It would be enough for the Bucks to remain competitive, with a chance for Ivey to achieve stardom as he enters his prime. Herring. Golden State Warriors get Giannis Antetokounmpo. Los Angeles Lakers get Draymond Green, Daniel Gafford. Dallas Mavericks get Gabe Vincent. 2031 first-round pick via LA Lakers. 2025 second-round pick, number 41. Milwaukee Bucks get Austin Reeves, Brandon Podziemski, Jonathan Kuminga via sign-and-trade. Tracy Jackson-Davis, Maxi Kleber. 2029 first-round pick via Warriors. 2031 first-round pick via Golden State. 2030 first-round swap with LA Lakers. The Warriors are almost always in the mix for stars, and after trading for Jimmy Butler 3 in February, they could take an even bigger swing this summer to maximize the remainder of Stephen Curry's extended prime. If Antetokounmpo requests a trade to Golden State, the Warriors could simply reroute Butler, whose salary is a perfect match. But the Warriors could also build a matching package around Green and a host of young players, so let's get truly wild with a blockbuster 4-team proposal. The Warriors would sacrifice depth to construct a star-studded big 3 of Curry, Antetokounmpo, and Butler. The Lakers would balance their roster by turning Reeves into Green, who has been involved in Lakers rumors in the past, and Gafford, improving their defense and adding a rim-running center who's a proven fit with Luka Doncic. The Mavericks would trade from a position of strength center to add a future first and point guard help during Kyrie Irving's absence. And the Bucks would grab an assortment of promising young players and future picks in return for their star.
Cram.
Trade season has officially arrived. Los Angeles Lakers fans have already witnessed some major wheeling and dealing occur ahead of the 2025 NBA draft as the Memphis Grizzlies loaded up on future draft picks by sending Desmond Bane to the Orlando Magic. It'll be interesting to see if the Lakers will pull off a similar move following their disappointing playoff exit. General Manager Rob Pelinka must find a solution to help lessen the burden on LeBron James at this stage of his career, while keeping Luka Doncic from shouldering more of the offensive load than he has to. While there have yet to be any reports linking a specific name to the purple and gold, Pelinka and the Lakers might have just found the perfect answer to their problems. Lakers rumors. Raptors R.J. Barrett reportedly available before NBA draft. After a stint with the New York Knicks, R.J. Barrett returned to his homeland to play for the Toronto Raptors and now finds himself on the outside looking in despite putting up some of the best numbers of his career during the 2024-25 campaign. According to Evan Sidery of Forbes, the Raptors appear open to trading Barrett as they plan to build around Scottie Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Grady Dick on the perimeter. Despite the starting center position being the top priority of the Lakers' front office this summer, adding a player like Barrett to the fold should be under consideration as well. The Raptors appear open to trading R.J. Barrett as they plan to prioritize Scottie Barnes, Brandon Ingram, and Grady Dick as their starting wing trio moving forward. Barrett produced a career-best season in Toronto, averaging 21.1 points, 6.3 rebounds, and 5.4 assists per game. PIC, twitter.com/3JBOZ6I31R. Evan Sidery, @Sidery, June 15, 2025. Much like James and Doncic, Barrett has been a known commodity since his teenage years, as he was considered one of the most promising prospects to come out of Canada in quite some time. Being under that type of microscope at such a young age isn't the only connection Barrett has with the Lakers' biggest stars, either. NBA Hall of Famer and former point guard for the Purple and Gold, as well as James' current podcast co-host, Steve Nash, is Barrett's godfather. Considering how the 40-year-old star likes to be surrounded by familiar faces, a possible trade with the Raptors shouldn't be dismissed. If there are any questions about Barrett's potential fit with the Lakers or whether he could handle being in a market like Los Angeles, then LeBron, Pelinka, and JJ Redick know who to turn to for answers to those inquiries. As for his contract, Barrett has 2 years and about $57.3 million in cash remaining. He'll carry a $27.7 million cap hit in 2025-26, meaning the Lakers would need to trade multiple players to facilitate a deal. Whether Barrett winds up being pursued heavily by the Lakers or not, fans can expect the purple and gold to be linked to several veterans via trade this summer.